Hello, my name's Kevin Delaney. I am head professional here at Thalback Boys Golf Club. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Remember guys, if you like what you see, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification button so that you know when these things are live. Today we're going to do a quick start for the building up for the 2021 season here. And I'm going to do a quick what's in the bag. Right, so this is the first video for 2021, so it's taken me a little while to get a few videos together. At the back end of last year I was extremely busy, and then moving forward we've had lockdown issues and stuff like that, so I just haven't been able to put much stuff out there at all. So what I thought I'd do to start with is to do a quick what's in the bag. So have a look at my bag, at where I'm starting at for this season, and then at the end of the year we'll probably do one to see where it finishes as to what clubs I might change and things that happen. Now obviously during lockdown I haven't been able to get out on the course at all or do anything, so that's why there's no videos. But the big change is that here at Thalback Boys Golf Club we've had this built. We've had the indoor swing room built, the performance centre, so I'm able now to do all sort of coaching, club fitting and stuff like that inside, so regardless of the elements and things like that, it can still happen. And it also makes it a lot easier to create content and stuff to put out there, which is great. So I'm still using the same system at the moment as what the other videos were. So we've got the SkyTrack launch monitor there, and it's not quite finished, so I'm not going to show you what's behind the camera because that's a little bit of a mess. But that's why the image is a little bit off skew, because at the moment we've got to put the projector up high, and it's a little bit off kilter at the moment, but it's fine for sort of hitting a few shots and doing a few bits and pieces. So let's get into it. What is in my bag? Right. So obviously I have to pay for all my golf clubs, so I'm not giving anything, so it's a case of I use what I think works best for me, and it's not about changing the clubs all the time and looking for the latest thing, and that it's about using the clubs that are best suited to me. So it'd be interesting to see at the end of the year where I'm at as to, will there be any changes, or what's going to stay in the bag. So if we start at the top end, I will start with driver and then work the way down. So I've got the Ping G400 Max driver with the hazardous yellow shaft in. Now this is start with the shaft before we get to the head. The shaft is the 75 gram counterbalanced shaft. Now, which is interesting, first time I've had a counterbalanced shaft in my driver. It's quite a heavy shaft, but because of the counterbalance makes it still feel very, very light, so I get good numbers out of it. Performs really well. I mean, I wouldn't normally probably use at my swing speed a 75 gram shaft, but having the counterbalance, you just wouldn't know. It's set on sort of 10.5 degrees. I've turned it down a little bit, so by about a degree, so about 9.5. I like the driver. Now, I didn't change last year to the 410. I didn't, when I hit it, really liked it, but there wasn't enough difference between the two clubs for me. It didn't warrant changing the club for the latest one. But I am interested to hit the 425 that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. And then give that a pretty fair test against this one to see where that is, because I've seen the driver and I've held it, I haven't hit it yet, but I did like the look of it when I saw it, so I'm interested to see that. Now, so I carry West Ham head cover, a 5-wood with just the standard altar shaft with a stiff flex in it. Again, turn the loft down a little bit so it's more like a 4-wood. Now, this is probably one club that I'm going to change. I like the head, I just don't like the shaft in it really. I find it a little bit, it doesn't perform how I would like. It doesn't really match up to the driver in the same way. Now, I know that the driver's a counterbalance shaft. This is sort of 20 grams lighter, 10 grams lighter in the shaft, and I'd like it to match up with the driver a little bit more. So this is probably one that's going to get changed at some point this year. Then we go down into, I've got colourway Apex number 2 hybrid. Now this one, what we got, 70 gram Catalyst 6.0 shaft. I like this hybrid. I like the fact that it sits a little bit flatter, so I tend to find with hybrids that I'll flip them and turn them over. This is definitely a little bit flatter, so I've got the ability to stand there and hit it straighter, and even with a little bit of fade when I need to. I like the club, it's good. Again, certainly now I've got this space, I'm looking at them all and then sort of measuring up my clubs probably more than I have done. The interesting thing with this is exactly where it sits, because like having hit a few shots, it's about gap testing your clubs and looking at where it sits in your bag. Now I hit distance wise probably pretty close to what my fairway wood is. It's a different flight. This is lower spinning, lower flying. Fairway wood's higher spinning, it's higher flying, but distance wise they're pretty similar. So I'm going to be looking at the next couple of months to see, is it worth carrying both of them? What changes should I make? Right, next irons. We've got the Ping i200 irons. Now carry them from 3 to pitching wedge. Got a Nippon NS Pro 105 stiff shaft in them. I like these clubs. Over the ball they've got a nice profile to them. They feel great. At the time I tried the blades, I just found that these were a little bit more forgiving, but you still get a consistent ball flight out of them, and I really liked them. I didn't change to the i210s because for me they looked very, very similar, performed very much the same. The difference was a little bit of feel. The i210s definitely feel a little bit softer, but for me that wasn't enough to make a change. Right, so into the wedges. Now this is probably will be one of the quicker changes, because again I've got the wedges now. I've got the Glide 2.0 wedges. Now I carry pitching wedge from the i200s, and then a 58 and a 52 degree wedge. Now I've also had these are slightly flatter than the irons. The irons are 1 degree upright. These are black dots, they're standard. Now that's something that you've got to look at, because certainly at lower swing speeds, if you're fitting your clubs, do you need wedges that are going to be as upright as the rest of your irons? Or should you look at flattening them off? It's something that I like to do, because if I'm not generating the swing speed because I'm hitting a lot of 3/4 half shots or whatever, then the shaft isn't going to flex in as much. And it leads to a slightly cleaner stroke. It also makes it easier with chipping. Now for me, I think I've got too much at the top end of the bag and not enough end at this end. I'm a little bit light on wedges, so I'm going to be looking at this, sort of suit myself to see what combination of wedges works best, and then do I need to carry sort of as much at the top end of the bag, because we all end up hitting these more than the rest of the bag. Now putter wise, this was a change that came in, I put in last year. I've gone for the Stroke Lab number 10 putter with the, it's just standard length, standard everything really, but I like the putter. I've used a more bladey type putter for years, like I had a Scotty Cameron Newport 2 putter, that kind of answery type shape. That's what I've always had, but I was struggling with putting, so I made a bit of a change and gone for something that's got a much higher MOI, so it's a little bit easier to hit. Right, bag wise, through the summer months, definitely a Tallback, something nice and big to carry as much as possible, because I don't tend to carry an awful lot. So I'd use a trolley and that, and then Tallbacks, I'll put as much in there. We're coming out the back end of winter, and my winter bag is this one, which is the Monsoon Surf. Waterproof bag, useful for when it rains, which we tend to get a lot in this country. Golf ball wise, I am standard Pro V1. Tried the X, tried the Pro V. I flick between the 2 different balls. I probably prefer the Pro V, just that slightly softer feeling. The only other thing is what else we've got here? We've got the Bushnell Rangefinder, so I've got the Pro X2. This is the waterproof one, so I don't have to worry if it gets wet, and it's got the slope on it. So this is useful for playing practice rounds, not competitions, with the slope on, to give you an accurate idea of the distances that you're intending to hit. So and it makes a difference, especially playing around here. I know that some of the par threes and stuff can play 10 yards longer or shorter depending on the slope. So it is accurate, definitely worth investing. I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. So remember, if you like what you see, hit the bell notification. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave any comments down below. What clubs are you looking at changing this year? And like I say, the content should start to come a little bit more regularly now. Now that we've got this space, I'm much more able to put a few videos out there. So yeah, we'll see you in the future.